Welcome to Northeastern Technical College, Math 110. So I'm going to begin this class by simply review with algebra. So to understand algebra, we got to understand the word called terms. All right. So what is a term? A term is basically like an object. Okay. Physically, it's like an object. So on paper, a term is a number, a variable, a product of some numbers, and a quotient of some numbers. Sorry about that. All right. So it's actually have four components to the word term. So a term means a number. Any number that we see is considered as a term, like a 4, -7, or an 8. All right. A term can also be a variable. These variables are standalone variables, like x by itself, y by itself, z, or t. Any type of standing alone variable is considered as one term. Now, the third part of the definition here gets a little bit strange. A term is also a product of some numbers. So as you can recall, the word product means multiplication. So what we are saying here is a multiplication of some numbers is only considered as one term, just like 2x. 2x means 2 times x. So multiplication between anything is only considered as one term. Even so, the 2 and the x, okay, if you look at them separately, is called the factors inside this one term. All right, so 2x, I actually have two factors, but together is only one term because the multiplication is right in the middle of it. So just like 3y, xy means x times y, or maybe I can have xyz. So xyz is only considered as one term because what's between the x, the y, and the z's are multiplication. So what this definition is saying is multiplication between anything is considered as one term. All right. Now, a quotient of some number, quotient means division, can also means quotient also means division. So a division between some numbers is only considered as one term, just like 1/2 means 1 divided by 2. All right, that's only considered as one terms. All right, 2x over 1 minus x is only one term. So I'm not saying every fraction is a term. What we're saying is division between anything is actually one term. So what separate between terms, okay, what we use to separate between terms are addition and subtraction signs, which is I did not include here, that are outside the parentheses, okay, to actually separate between our terms. So if I have something like a 2 plus 3, okay, the addition sign outside the parenthesis allow me to separate this problem as two terms, a positive 2 and a positive 3. All right, so now let's look back at the 2x over 1 minus x. Okay, even though this whole entire quotient between 2x and 1 minus x is only one term, if you look closely on the numerator, there is a multiplication between 2 and the x, so the numerator is one term. Now the denominator is 1 minus x, and there is a subtraction sign here outside the parenthesis. So that denominator consists of two terms, a 1 and a negative x. Okay, everything we do in algebra is dictated by terms. Okay, especially in this class, we got to understand terms in order to key in anything or expressions inside the graphing calculator. So if I want to key in this expression inside the graphing calculator, all right, for my 2x, even though it's only one term on top, I will still put them inside the parenthesis divided by 1 minus x, which is two terms representing one denominator. So I have to put my 1 minus x in the parenthesis. And the purpose of doing so is because I need a calculator to read my entire, what I key in as one term. So if I simply key in 2x divided by 1 minus x, with this subtraction sign being outside the parenthesis, this what I key in is basically two terms. 2x minus 1 is one term because division between anything is one term. and the negative x is the second term, which is completely different as to what we really wanted to express, which is only consists of one term. Now, what will happen if I will add an extra term? Maybe I have a 2x over 1 minus x plus 3. So now the entire expression right now consists of two terms. So when I key in the calculator, I need the calculator to see this is one term, positive 3 is a separate term. So we often telling students that whenever we key in a fraction, we always put them in the parenthesis. The reason we say that is so that the calculator can recognize it's two separate terms. So I will add an extra parenthesis to separate between my fraction term versus my positive 3. But then my numerator and denominator is one term over two terms. But I still need the calculator to see this is one whole term. So I gotta open up another parenthesis for my 2x, close it, then divide it by 1 minus x. That's in another parenthesis. So if I do not close my parenthesis for 2x, okay, then my 2x will divide by 1 first. So it's almost look like this part if I do not close my parenthesis. So let me write a little bit better. So close the parenthesis for 2x, then press the division button, then open another parenthesis for the 1 minus x, then close it, and close it again with my first term before we say plus 3. All right. So there are different ways to key it in. This is probably one of the safest way to key in the calculator, just so we can separate. We can basically tell the calculator to separate between the two terms. So remember, addition and subtraction signs outside the parentheses, okay, is what we use to separate terms. So if I want, if I want the calculator to see the 1 minus x as one denominator, I automatically put a parenthesis on them because if I instantly put the parenthesis on the 1 minus x, okay, it is actually viewed as one term. And the reason why this is viewed as a one term is because theoretically what's up front of it, the parenthesis is actually 1 times it. Okay, so that's why by putting a parenthesis on 1 minus x, it's become one term. All right, in the next objective, we will learn how to identify more terms. Thank you for watching.